And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose. What up? Go. I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together, we're Jalen and Jacoby, and it is Friday, and we're on ESPN2 and ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We're really fortunate that we give the people that have supported this program 6 years exactly what they want. Not only on the radio, but on podcasts, but in particular on television, where they can see our handsome faces.
Well, there's a lot of conversations going on in the visitors' locker room in Denver, because the Oklahoma City Thunder went into Denver on a 3-game losing streak. Everyone was asking, what's wrong with the Thunder? What's going on with the Thunder? Well, guess what? They left Denver with a 4-game losing streak. They only scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. They only had 6 assists in the second half. Paul George attempted 1 shot in the fourth quarter. After the loss, you'll never believe this, Jalen, they had a team meeting. What is going on with the Thunder?
This wasn't the usual team meeting where you just bash ownership and the coach and blame them on the team's lack of productivity.
No.
It's one of those things, and we talked about this on Countdown. There has to be a pecking order. It can't be each person taking turns.
It's a really
when I look
good
at
point.
the stat sheet,
let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the Thunder performance from the Big Three. If you look at this,
you guys knew what I was thinking?
Exactly. You don't go to the meetings, but we know where you're going to go. You know, that's what happens when you, with the staff is very good. If you look at this, they all average the same amount of points, they all take the same amount of shots, and they all make the same percentage. It's the exact same. When you talk about pecking order, why does this not work in your expert opinion?
I'm really impressed that you guys have some telepathic thinking and understand what I'm going to hit on. That's crazy. With that being said, when I talk about a pecking order, for anybody that's played elite level basketball, it's a privilege to be able to shoot. It's a privilege for the team to run a play for you. It's an honor because it's the other 14 guys saying, we trust you enough because if you wasn't shooting, I'll be shooting.
Yes, and all other 14 guys feel very confident in their abilities.
Even the guys that can't shoot.
Yes, of course.
Want the ball.
Of course.
Because you massage it, the crowd's watching, the television's watching, your family's watching. You could be Dennis Rodman that's going to get every rebound, or Dikembe Mutombo's going to block every shot. Man, they feel so much better when they have the ball. And so in this dynamic, when you have 3 players who are perennial all-stars, one's is the reigning MVP. Carmelo's one of the all-time leading scorers, just passed Allen Iverson on the scoring list. And Paul George, who's led the Pacers in his own right, been a 20-plus point scorer, Team USA player. What ends up happening is it's a unique spot for Russell because he plays the one and he's trying to keep them happy. He don't want them to bounce. In particular, Paul George, who can leave after this year. So he wants to show them, you guys came to play with me, we all getting our bread, but I don't want to run these guys
Melo
off.
can leave too. Yeah.
Melo ain't going nowhere. He get $28 million next year. He'll be
opted. Okay.
That's why he like, I'm pulling. I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm doing everything. Like, I'm here. And that's what he's established. What needs to truly happen, Paul George won't be able to get his rocks off like this. Because Melo's playing the 4, which means he's going to be able to shoot the ball, win, lose, or draw against the guys that are guarding him in the West on a nightly basis. From distance, at least. Russell's going to be a volume player. All 3 of them were in the top 10 in isolation points last year. So they all want the ball. But I think if Russell wants to take a step back and be more of a playmaker, Melo has to take more of a step back at being a power forward in the West and being a volume scorer. And they got to kind of get Paul George, the intermediate player, going.
Okay. That's interesting because you would look at these 3 and say either Carmelo or Westbrook is going to be the one that's going to take most of your shots. And what you're saying is those 2 can score. They need to make an effort to get Paul George involved and give him the lion's share of the shots.
Because at the end of the game, you just said Paul George had how many shots in the fourth quarter?
He had 1 field goal attempt.
Okay. When there's a last shot and everything's equal, who's going to shoot it?
The best player on the team.
Russell. Yeah. And then if he's not shooting it, I seen him dribble, penetrate, kick it to Melo early in the year, hit a 3 before Minnesota won. They need their slasher, their wing, their guy that is going to guard the best player on the opposing team on the perimeter when Roberson's not in the game to actually get going. Yeah.
you remember Jimmy Fredette?
I do.
He's playing in China right
He
now.
got drafted ahead of Isaiah Thomas.
And Stephon Marbury also in China.
Former teammate.
And here's one thing we learned. That whether you're playing in America, China, or anywhere, all professional basketball fights are the same. What is this, Jalen? What do you call this?
Hold me back!
Well, I've translated into Chinese for our listeners.
You've been working hard today.
Zijiwo!
That is very nice. I like what you did there.
Say it?
So this is not me
Zijiwo!
mocking what you did in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, I'm sure it's mockable. I've heard it and say
But
right.
when you said zzz, I thought about a record because I have so many songs in my head. It was zzz, 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 zzz.
We just got sued. Jalen, you've been gone. We had a couple guests in here.
That's Din Dada.
It was fun. And it was a big shout to Al Harrington, Amino Hassan, everybody that came through. Stack came through. But you did this while you were gone. And you need to be held accountable.
It's not a big deal, right?
Not a big deal.
Are we about to? We're going to detour this whole show.
I'm happy he had a nail clipper. Like me, I just, especially my big toe, I like to just pull it. And sometimes it bleeds, but
Okay.
use a Band-Aid.
Let's talk about routines. That was disgusting.
Jalen, we always talk about what's on wax and what's off wax. And this isn't Jalen and Jacoby. You know what I mean? When you're on at 1 in the morning, you're comfortable, you're with your friend, you kind of say whatever, executives don't notice. You can't do that on Countdown, man. Talk about your big toe blood. No one wants to hear about your big toe blood.
I guess it is a different look when you suited and booted.
Jalen Rose, I have a story to tell you. Just give me a second.
Listen up, I got a story to tell.
I was at an establishment watching various games, a lot of NBA games, and the Thursday Night Football game, so I wanted to watch all of them.
Don't get divorced or fired.
So I wanted to watch all of them, so I couldn't watch it at my house. I had to go to a bar. And I was at the bar during the Thursday Night Football National Anthem was televised. And there was two gentlemen, true story, two gentlemen sitting to my right arguing about kneeling during the anthem, about disrespecting the flag, not getting crazy, but having an argument between strangers about that. And it just made me think about how divided we are about this and how this has been a dividing force in our society. And I turned away from that argument. I looked up at the screen. Jalen, this is what I saw when I looked up at the screen. See, here we have interlocked. We have the flag stretched out there. And there's the eagle, the bald eagle, America's mascot, flying over the flag in the middle of the field. Do you see what that is, Jalen?
You let one go.
It pooped on the flag. Yep. The bald eagle pooped on the flag during the national anthem. And listen, I know a lot of people disagree about a lot of this stuff. But whether you support the kneeling during the anthem or whether you don't support kneeling during the anthem, what's one thing that we can all agree on?
That you shouldn't poop on the flag.
Don't poop on the flag, bald eagle. Yep. I'm interested to see what the repercussions will be from this action from this bald eagle.
Suspended for 5 years.
Something. That bald eagle should not appear on national television during football games again.
Jerry Jones gonna hire another attorney.
Don't poop on the flag, bald eagle. Let's move on before we get fired. Also during the Thursday night game, after the eagle pooped on the flag, there was this hit on Russell Wilson. And you've seen it, clean, no one blocking, tough hit, clean, little helmet, but nothing crazy. His jaw hurts. And the ref comes over and says, you got to go. Nope. Russell, you cannot stay in the game. You have to go. We have a concussion protocol in this league, a very serious concussion protocol. You need to be evaluated. This is him being evaluated in the tent. Oh, I'm good. Oh, got to go. Now, Jalen, when you watch this, which I know you did, you have to ask yourself, with the NFL saying how serious they take player safety and how important the concussion protocol is and how they're taking these steps to protect their players, what about that made you feel like he was being protected if he had a potential concussion?
I want to defend the officials here because they have a heavy burden to carry on each play.
I don't think the officials did anything wrong.
They are to get each call right, or we're going to put the camera on them. And if they don't initially get it right, go to replay and try to get it right. And also manage the fact to whether a gentleman is actually injured, hurt, or has a concussion. Mm-hmm. They're not doctors.
No.
So I appreciate the fact that the official, this is out of my hands. I saw you take a hit. It was in the chin. Usually when you're hitting your head, that is what causes
concussions. And the thing is, the official actually did the right thing. If he has any doubt in his mind that Russell Wilson is anything but 100%, you go over there. My problem is this. It's not Russell Wilson's fault There needs to be someone that accepts Russell Wilson, that is a neutral party, that is like league appointed. There is this. That person needs to enforce the concussion protocol. I watched this and I did not see Russell Wilson go through a series of tests. You know, I didn't see any vigorous testing or any sort of what's your name, where are you, what's going on. They didn't have a lot of that there. And Russell Wilson, of course, does what he wants to do, which is get on the field and play football.
Can I just say this for the record? Russell Wilson, elite quarterback. I know we throw that term around a lot. Elite quarterback. He's not Joe Flacco that won a Super Bowl. Elite? No. He's not Joe Flacco that won a Super Bowl and doesn't consistently perform each week. But to your point, there has to be a level of restraint by a third party toward Russell Wilson, but there also has to be a level of acceptance by the athlete. Yeah. You hear so many guys, and I am not proud to say I've been this person before, that you don't care about your health. You care about the opportunity to play the sport that you love that's giving you so much.
Of course.
That's all that is.
It's football. You want to get back on the field and play.
And so while it's almost like it's your friend that you really can't take anywhere because he or she don't know how to act, and before you know it, they have a couple of beverages and they argue and fighting with somebody. You're like, either I can't take you nowhere, or I know how they going to be when we get there. It's almost like Rasheed Wallace. You know he going to get a technical.
Yes.
So every time, are you going to be the guy that goes over and gets between him and the hold me back in the ref? Like, at some point, you get emotionally taxed. And so the team has to have what you acknowledge in play, a third-party individual to acknowledge it, but also the player has to be accepting.
That's fair.
Because at some point, fans and media, we want to protect the health of the players.
This is for the players' benefit.
You have to be accepting of that help. Yeah. If you're in boxing and you're getting beat down and your corner throws in the towel, you don't pick up the towel and throw it back out of the ring and keep fighting.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Very quickly, Richard Sherman ruptured his Achilles tendon. It's just terrible news, and we've done it before. The long list of superstars, not just NFL players, superstars that have been injured this season. And after the game, not necessarily pegging it to the Sherman injury, but Doug Baldwin said this about Thursday night games. This blank should be illegal. It's not okay. It's not okay. You can quote me on that. Now, Jalen, what do we always say on this show? Follow the money. The NFL is receiving $1.86 billion from NBC, CBS, Twitter, and Amazon over the next 2 years to stream these games, about $900 million a year. Do you think that they will one day say, we are going to give that money back after this 2-year deal and get away with Thursday nights because the players don't want them as bad for the players?
I appreciate the platform to be able to talk about sports consistently, because this is something that we've talked about consistently on this program. I remember a day when I was like, man, Sunday to Sunday, ooh, those players take a beat, and I don't know how they get ready to play in that short period of time. And then it was Monday to Sunday. Ooh, that's a short week. Man, I don't know how they're getting ready to play. But Sunday to Wednesday, I'm with Doug Baldwin because I've said this before. That should be illegal. Big shout to Richard Sherman, a friend of the show. And I said to him, and he agreed. These are the type of things the players need to stand on the table and decide, you know what? Maybe we're not going to show up for work one week. Then we're going to talk about these guaranteed contracts. We're going to talk about these games on Thursday. That's how you allow your voices to be heard.
The Dallas Cowboys have a game on Sunday. And then they have the Thursday Thanksgiving game, and then another Thursday night game. That is 3 games in 11 or 12 days. That just shouldn't be happening.
You could look at it in a flip side and say, wow, the court, you can't control the dates they give, but man, maybe the NFL was trying to get Ezekiel 3 games out of the way real quick in 10 days. You don't have to talk about it that much.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
We have voicemails. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. And if you do that, we'll play it on the show.
They always said it. I think it was Oskino. Don't be the person that just brings flowers to the funeral. Bring somebody soup when they're sick.
I love Oskino. Oskino and Sparks.
Tales of a hustler. with Beanie Siegel is when he spit those bars.
It's Friday. Where are you going this weekend?
Man, I've had a crazy week, fam.
You going to sleep?
Yes. Monday in Atlanta with the kids. Tuesday, Bristol with wifey. Wednesday, Boston, Countdown, Beads, Pierce, Mr. Big Shot.
Shout out.
Thursday, NYC, up fronts. Adding opportunities to the resume that we'll talk about in the future, which won't affect this program in a negative way in any way, shape, or form.
That's cute, man. That's cute.
And Friday, LA with the best staff in the world, Jalen and Jacoby. I'm really enthusiastic. Jacoby brought me a hot cider. I saw Barron come in.
Shout outs.
And Saturday, back to Connecticut. Get some sleep. Take a shower.
Not going to the bars. You're going to the bed.
I know what I'm going to do.
Take a nap.
I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a few baths.
A few? Come on, Jay.
No question.
You can't take 2 baths in one day. You cannot until you're retired.
I do.
You can't take 2 baths in one day. That's too much.
I'll tell you what I do.
That's too much.
I'm the king. I'm the king of the steam shower. I put you onto it in downtown. I ain't gonna say where it is.
No, I know about. Well, they have actual showers that are steam rooms. Have you seen these? One of my homegirls has one of these. It's a shower booth, but it's bigger than your average shower booth. Push a button, steam comes out.
I hate to tell you.
You got one of those?
What? And a separate steam room.
Of course you do. You're so rich. I hate hanging out with rich people. Let's get back to the real people. The people leave us voicemails.
I almost got into it with this guy, and he didn't even realize it. Let me tell you what happened.
Yes.
I love when you board the plane in the middle. Thank you. So now the people in coach can go to the right.
Don't do this. Yeah.
And the people in first class can go to the left. I'm standing there, been traveling a lot. Got a couple of suits in my hand, trying to get some closet flow. Not realizing that the stewardess wasn't around. So another gentleman came, tried to quickly throw his suit up in there and hit towards, coach. I'll A, have a problem with it. Anyway.
There's only one place to put the suits.
But B, don't try to push me out the way to do it. So that became a double negative.
If he sees you with the suits on, with suits in your hand, he knows what you're doing with them.
He just saw my backside and my back, so it wasn't personal at all. He was just trying to, when Steph Curry get high, he don't follow all the way through. He just try to quick shoot it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, dog. And you know what I did? I valeted. I olayed. I moved out the way. Go ahead, man. Put yours right there.
It's not worth it.
Put yours
right there. But I know
right
you
there.
grumbled. You mumbled something under your breath. I know you.
Yeah, I told her. I was like, he need to be arrested.
I don't care if it delays the flight. Do whatever you got to do. Alert the authorities. Well, Jen, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that adversity in your first class travels, man. I know that's really hard on you. I'm glad you're here, though. Let's hear from some real people that have real jobs. You know what I mean? People that leave us voicemails.
What up, though, Jalen and Jacoby? My name is Anthony from Poughkeepsie, and I'm sitting here listening to your podcast with Amin Al-Hassan. Somebody called and said they think Biggie is overrated. First of all, I agree. Second, he was saying he's not as good as Hove and listed a couple other rappers, but that got me thinking. I think Jay-Z is overrated. He is always offbeat, and his lyrics aren't that great. And that's about it.
Hold on, wait. Please let me go. I've been gone for a couple of days.
First of all, I want to give a big shout to Amin and a big shout to Poughkeepsie, New York City, New York. I've spent a lot of time there. Po-Town down, the Red Tomato, taking the Hudson River line up there, Vassar College. Okay, continue.
Shout to Stack Jack, Cheddar Cheese, Brian Windhorst as well.
Everybody that came by. Brian Windhorst had to call out. He got a little sick.
Come on, Brian. Okay, a couple of things. Hit the brakes.
Okay.
Here's what this program is not about to turn into.
Jalen, every time you leave, we can do whatever we want.
I'm going to say this
every
loud.
time we leave, we can do whatever we want.
So if you're listening to somebody that's hearing the podcast for the first time, if you're in a vehicle with somebody that's listening to our radio show the first time, I am talking loud right now. This program has been going on for 6 years. Look at these immortals on the wall. There will not be slander of Jay-Z, Tupac, or Biggie by nobody. I will not accept that. It will damage the credibility of our show. We are not playing those games.
Here's what happens. Caller calls in. Reggie listens to the call and says, ooh, this call has Biggie slander in it. I'm gonna put that piece of meat out in the lion cage and just let Jalen and Jacoby get upset about this. So you have to understand how the machinations work behind the scenes. Like this next voicemail.
Jalen and Jacoby, what's good, man? This Big Sean from the Bronx, man. Big fan of the pod. Had to call in. Just had the biggest hit the brakes moment in the history of the podcast. Jacoby, did you seriously just say Biggie has whack verses? Biggie has verses where he mailed it in. Biggie is not a wordsmith. Like, fam, first of all, I feel like you only really said that because Jalen wasn't there. And we all know Jalen would not support any Biggie slander on the pod. Second of all, and more importantly, if you're going to say an all-time great has whack verses, I need specific examples. Please provide. Holla at me.
Jacoby's on the computer doing something he hardly ever does when I'm present. He works really hard until the show starts, and then that's when I work, those 30 minutes. But he's actually doing work right now. This caller has him going back to the lab. So while he does that, I get a chance to speak.
No, here's what you do. Big Sean from the Bronx. First of all, shout out to you. First of all, I like the way you talked. You spoke to us like you knew us. Like I was like, do I know this guy? Yeah. You know, he's like I really appreciate that, Big Sean from the Bronx. And a couple things is everybody has bad games. You know what I mean? It's not every single time Biggie spit a verse, it was top notch. All of his album verses are great. But I just Googled one song for you. I can't say the name because this is a family show. But R.A. the Rugged Man, he's a rapper. He's a dirty rapper from Suffolk County, Long Island. And he did a
Shout to K Solo.
He did a song, a collab with Biggie that you've never heard before, Big Sean. Because no one's heard it before. Because it's whack. And Biggie's verse is whack on it. So go Google that, R.A. the Rugged Man and Biggie, and listen to that song. And a lot of the times I've learned that when Biggie does features on someone else's thing, he's going to keep getting them checks type of moment. He doesn't exactly go as hard as he normally does. No one bats 1,000. Biggie's in my top 5 that are live, Big Sean.
And I'm here to be the voice of the people. And so I want to make sure we keep score. It's really important to me. We played a level of Jeopardy on NBA Countdown recently, and Beto does a great job of being a quarterback, and on her left side is Jalen and Chauncey, who haven't seen Star Wars, and on the right side is her and Paul Pierce, who come in and talk about all of these things they see on Netflix and things we haven't heard of, especially me. And Paul Pierce from Inglewood, California, they thought he was joking. And how many I told Chauncey to name 2 people on Seinfeld. Well, he couldn't name any, including Jerry. Which I love because I actually didn't think of that when I asked the question. And then it was he, ha, ha, I'm going to get you, Paul. And so I say to Paul Pierce, the Hall of Famer from Inglewood, California,
shout out.
Name Pac's character
Birdie
in Paid in Full. He said Bishop.
I can't name Pac's character in Paid in Full.
Birdie.
That's above the rim.
I'm sorry. That's what I asked. So just edit that.
No, don't leave that in.
No, I want to get it right. I asked him to say Pac's character in Above the Rim. He said Bishop. Oh no, we're gonna take it to Jay, who's the first caller mentioned. We're gonna go to Pac that Jacoby and Elmine El Hassan mentioned. We're going to take it to Big that Jacoby and is now talking.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
And lastly, I'm going to bring up Cameron because of Reg. I'm going to make sure for the people we feature those individuals next week. And you want to tell me one verse that wasn't attractive by Notorious Big? Because you want me to pull up Michael Jordan's box scores?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That is my point. he could be arguably the greatest rapper ever alive. Doesn't mean every time he records a verse it's hot. That's what I said in the first place. See, this is just like you. You come in with these hard opinions with no information. You know what I mean? Did you listen to the conversation that Big Sean is referring to? Did you listen to your own podcast?
You know I don't have the information.
Control?
That's like you don't follow-up questions.
Yeah, it's like you don't have the information. You don't even know what I said or didn't say about this. I'm not slandering Biggie. I just said like he didn't bat 1,000 from the plate.
I'm like the rest of the world. I see the headline and I'm going with it.
Exactly. I understand. Jalen Rose. We have a slate of football games this weekend. This is going to be a weekend preview. We're going to talk about every single game this weekend, a couple college games, and some random things that are happening in the world. Are you ready for the weekend preview?
Let's get it.
First, we have the 1 p.m. games. The surprising Saints. The 6-2 Saints. The 6 games in a row Saints. The we don't need Adrian Peterson to continue our win streak Saints. The Drew Brees, I heard you talking about replacing me after 2 games. Guess what? I'll win 6 in a row Saints. Those Saints are going into Buffalo. You know the Bills are only 1 game off 6-2? They are 5-3 right now.
The league's being turned upside down by a few squads that aren't necessarily the storied franchises in the league. But they're playing well so far at the halfway point.
What do you think happens in this game? Saints traveling up to Buffalo to play the Bills. Could be cold. It's getting to that time of year. There are going to be some folding tables broken. I guarantee that. If I was a folding table in that part of upstate New York, I'd be terrified.
I'm actually going to go with the Saints. I think Drew Brees, Mark Ingram in that squad, Kimura in the backfield is giving them a great tandem. You mentioned the wave that they're on. I think these are the type of games that determine if you're going to be a really strong playoff team at this point based on their record, or you're going to be one that kind of backs in. I think the Saints take that step. They win this Sunday.
I'm going Bills here. Now, this one is relevant to you. This is the Packers at the Bears. Packers are 4-4. Bears are 3-5. Lions are 4-4. You're rooting for your Bears fan this weekend, aren't you?
So I got to ask the people a question anyway. I'm glad you brought this up.
Okay.
There was a big controversy in our fantasy league today.
What happened?
It kind of reminded me of what I see publicly as Jerry Jones allegedly is trying to block Roger Goodell from getting a contract extension.
Did someone poop on the flag?
Not at all. And you can dictate why he's so staunch about doing that. In our league today, Paul Bearer, CJ, traded Jordy Nelson, the person that he took 8th.
Okay.
You see, he's 1-8. Took Jordy Nelson 8th, and he's trading him to the foundation, who's 6-3.
That should be
for Cohen, the running back for the Bears that was undrafted.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching emails going back and forth.
I would say that that's actually a pretty fair trade. It's a pretty fair trade.
He got pushed through.
That's not
so bad.
He got an
honorable league.
Here's my thing is though, if you're 1-8, you can't be making trades. No. You're pretty much out of the playoffs. So what are you trying to do? It's not a keeper league, right? So really, what are you trying to do? You know what? That sounds like collusion to me.
I know, because
that sounds like collusion.
The first person that responded was Mav Carter. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. Of course you want Randy to get him. And by the way, if you would see how Draymond Green behaves in this league, he would never get a tech in the NBA. He's such a gentleman. I don't believe in the teams controlling the league. And
he went political with it?
He was so mature. Like, Draymond for president. I just had to talk about the other side of my little brother.
Let me tell you this, though.
At the end of his email, guess what it says?
Oh, but you got a signature that's the same every time?
All the best.
All the best?
Yeah.
And every time it's the same?
Yeah.
See, I can't get with the people that have the automatic signature at the bottom of the email. That doesn't mean, it's like, write me something customer, don't write anything at all. All the best, comma, Draymond.
But we got the greatest fantasy league. Our commissioner Stalker gives the best updates each week.
I think that's a fair trade. But I just question the motive of the guy who's 1-8. Maybe he's just trying to get a win here and there or whatever. But like when you're 1-8, like it's not happening for you this year. So just do your best to stay out of the way of the people that are in the hunt. And some tells me that he's going to get a nice bottle of expensive wine from Randy. We know how that goes. Next, your Lions are hosting the Browns. If y'all lose to the Browns,
that's a dub. Marvin Jones.
If you lose to the Browns, you have
Golden Tate.
If you lose to the Browns, you have to do the cinnamon challenge on wax.
I'm not doing a cinnamon challenge, period.
One chip challenge?
Can I
One
tell you
chip challenge
something?
already played out.
I love the Lions enough not to bet on them foolishly.
I know. But the Browns are 0-8.
You're not catching me up in that.
The Steelers are going into Indianapolis to play.
Nice try, though.
The Steelers are going to Indianapolis to play the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League, Jacoby Brissett, and the Colts. These games aren't that good.
You know what?
Let's be honest. I haven't seen a good game yet.
You know what underreported storyline? Is Bill Belichick stood on the sideline one day and was like, you know what? Garoppolo or Brissett ain't the quarterback of the future. Let's trade both of those guys.
Let's trade both of them. Yeah. He's like, I believe in TB12 movement. I read the book. He's going to play until he's 65.
I'm better off.
He's got pliable muscles.
I'm better off with Brian Hoyer and gave him a 3-year deal.
And then you see what happened? Martellus Bennett got cut by the Packers for no reason. No one's there. That story hasn't come out yet. And then all of a sudden, Patriots scooped him up. They got him. He knows the playbook from last year. They got backup for Gronk. They go 2 tight end sets. They love going 2 tight end. Remember Aaron Hernandez? Remember him?
I appreciate how the Patriots let players go. And the players like, you know what? The grass ain't greener. How can I get back?
If Bill Belichick was running the Lakers, Kobe Bryant would have played like 10 years. For real. He would have played like 10 years. Once he saw that decline, like, once the hair was gone, he'd be like, you're out. You're out, Kobe.
And once Dirk was backpedaling and tripped over the line, like,
no, you're gone, Dirk. There's no parachute deals from Belichick.
No question. We put your statue out there.
Yeah. Well, the Steelers are going to beat the Colts.
Yes, they are.
This game is interesting to me. The Chargers going to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. The Chargers have underperformed. The Jaguars have somewhat overperformed expectations to get to 5-3.
I need Rivers to have a big game since Deshaun Watson is hurting fantasy this year. I'm going with the Jaguars. They have a Jalen on their squad.
They have a very good secondary if you need Rivers to have a
They have the greatest
game.
mascot that resembles JRLA's.
You know what might be nice, though? Is they'll probably get behind, so Rivers will have to throw for you.
They're amongst the league leaders in not only being able to cover, but probably first in sacks. Very impressive what they've done defensively.
Next.
They'll end up with Eli one day.
I'm just going to tell it like it is. These games are not good so far. The Jets going in to play the Bucs, who sat Jameis Winston. No more. They haven't eaten any W's. They're so hungry for W's.
I like what you did there.
They're starving for W's.
That was one of the more questionable. You know how back in the day there was a phase that I'm not going to bring back up that's retired? When people would say something questionable and somebody else would say something you do when you're listening to music?
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I hadn't heard anything more disturbing than what Jameis did at the beginning of that game, talking about eat a W and licking his fingers.
You know what? He got excited and he was in the moment. He didn't. That wasn't a plan. You know what I mean? I don't think he was like, oh, I don't think he was driving to the stadium that day being like, I'm gonna do a pregame speech about eating W's. He was in the moment. He was freestyling, and it went a little left on him, and he just leaned into it, and that's where we ended up.
And if you want to get a good laugh, especially with somebody that is a family member or friend or near to you, in your vicinity or your mate, you want to get a good laugh, pull up that video again and watch after he licks his fingers. He tries to give somebody dap. And watch what he does.
The Jets are going to beat the Bucs, and they're going to be 5-5. I can't believe the Jets are going to be 5-5.
You know who the Jets coach is, right?
Yes.
It's really good.
Next, the Bengals go to Tennessee to play the Titans.
Why we call them Bengals like it's B-A-N-G?
That's just what I say, man. That's what
Bengals.
I say. Bengals. I say Bengals. Why
Those are earrings.
That's what I was thinking. Bengals. That's the same thing, though.
No, it's not.
It's not? So Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals and Bengal earrings are spelled differently? Those are 2 different words? I had no idea that was a fact. I'm just going to be honest. I thought they were the same thing.
Yes.
I really thought that there was the stripes of a tiger.
First time I got you with
earrings,
wisdom.
The stripes of a tiger. No, please. Please, Jalen. I really thought the stripes of a tiger and those earrings had the exact same definition and spelling.
Nope. New York University's on the phone.
What do they want their diploma back?
Yeah.
The check's cleared. The check's already cleared, New York. The check's already cleared. You can't get it back. That's my property. I got my receipt. I'm keeping it. Titans are going to beat the Bengals, whatever they're called. AJ Green's not going to choke anybody out. And then the Vikings, who are going to win your division.
You would love that, but it's not going to happen.
It's going to happen. Are going into Washington to play the Redskins. In the first game that seems sort of interesting, but not really because Case Keenum is playing quarterback for the Vikings.
I agree with you.
It's a good weekend for Joe to be gone and me to have all 3 kids. I'm telling you.
Here's what I'm rooting for. A Teddy Bridgewater comeback.
Oh. He's they've put Sam Bradford on the IR. They've activated Bridgewater. I think he will play this year. They're 6-2, so they've got playoff aspirations, so it's not one of those, not only is Jameis Winston thing where it's like there's no point in playing him. He will come back this year, and I hope that he performs well.
You know the Jets coach name?
Todd Bowles. You think I didn't you?
Well, when I asked you earlier, you were like, yeah, but you didn't say his name.
I moved past it.
No, what happened is you tried
to catch me, didn't you?
Now you remembered it.
First of all, you would have said his name if you remembered it.
I remembered it. I told you I want to talk to their squad this year.
You know this isn't the show we're trying to catch each other out there by asking trivia questions. You
well,
know that, right?
I can't win.
We can play that game. We can play that game if you want to play that game.
Okay.
You didn't think I knew, did you? Be honest. Be honest, be real. You didn't think I knew.
I know that you understand who the coach is. I just didn't think you would be able to say his name at the drop of a hat because you have so many amazing things going on in your brain.
Professional broadcaster. This is what I do. I'm not going to lie. Usually the 1 p.m. games, there's one TV at the bar that I need to focus on.
Don't get fired.
I'm not even going to be at the bar for these games. I got all kids to myself this weekend.
Good for you. Good for Joey.
She's got work to do.
Good for her.
The 4 p.m. games. Texans at the Rams in the Coliseum.
How about this? Now that Seattle is dealing with the injury to Richard Sherman, the Rams are looking even more formidable. Teams that are turning the league upside down, Philly and the Rams, playing really good football. This is a chance for them to take that next step. Obviously, Houston has lost Deshaun and J.J. Watt and Merciless.
Rams
are going to win.
I'm a die easy Rams fan. I picked up the Rams.
Oh, that's where we going?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know that?
What?
You don't listen to the Nickel Package? You don't listen to the Nickel Package podcast?
Wait a minute.
I'm a die easy Rams fan. Once the Colts were terrible with Jacoby, I was a die easy Colts fan when Jacoby got that one win. Yeah, Rams fan. Love the Rams. That's the look. So I follow my heart.
You was the person that now resides in L.A. was like, whoever gets better between the Rams and the Chargers, I'm going to just ride with them.
Oh, I didn't think either of them were going to be any good. That's what happened.
That's even worse.
I love the Rams. I love their offense. Cooper Kupp, Tavon Austin, Watkins caught a deep ball. Jared Goff with a clean pocket, just dicing up defenses. Oh, by the way, Woods and Todd Gurley, one of the best running backs in the league.
Life at the crib has been rough this week. Molly's unhappy about the Giants. You see her final take? She went in on her squad.
The Giants.
They gave up 52 to your Rams, and it was 3rd and 33, and they gave up a 52-yard touchdown? Oh, man.
The Giants go to San Francisco to play the 49ers.
Was it 1 win and 0 wins?
1 win and 0 wins. They've got 16 losses between them and 1 win. Combined 1 and 16. In San Francisco, number one, can the 49ers win this game?
I'm going 49ers.
I think so, too.
But when you're 1 and 7, you're not just quitting on the coach, you're quitting on yourself.
I'm quitting on everything. I'm a front runner, Jalen. You know that about me.
That's not something you should be proud of if you're getting millions of dollars to play a sport.
Oh, money's the same whether you try or not. We'll get them next year. Isn't that how it works? I'm not a professional athlete.
That's how it looked on that play when they gave up that touchdown.
That's how it looks. I don't know if that's how it works.
Eli Apple was like, I'm good.
I don't think football is actually going to happen on Sunday because I think the best. I don't know what the best game is. I guess it is the Cowboys at the Falcons. The best game is the night game. We'll get there.
Ezekiel Elliott's not going to be playing.
No. I never know. Because through Deflategate and the Ezekiel Elliott thing, it's always like, oh, he's not suspended. No, now he is suspended. Oh, he's not suspended. So I never really believe the finality of it.
The timeline went different. He's going to miss 4 games for sure because he's not getting back in court until December 1st.
Oh, good for him. See what happens then. What happens when they go into Atlanta with no Ezekiel Elliott? This is a big game for the Cowboys. Big game for the Falcons.
The Millennium Falcon gets going. Julio, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Is he on your fantasy team?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Usually that's how your predictions go.
No, Harlan told me to take him, but I love Barron Moore.
Oh, okay.
And Molly. They went out.
Shout out.
Sunday night, the Pats going into Denver to play the Broncos. Now, before you say the Broncos don't have an offense, you'd be right. But as someone who's a die-easy Patriots fan as well, the Patriots have a lot of trouble in Denver.
How many teams you have? Like, you can be a die-easy fan, but we got to limit this.
No, we don't. Jalen, that's the whole point. This is how it's going to be? The whole point is I just do whatever I want. I do whatever I want. You can't tell me how to feel.
So you may look up in 3 years and be like, you know what? I'm a Chargers fan.
Oh, 3 years? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. They go on a 3-game winning streak? I start looking at them in the division like they could do this.
I got you, Q. We not going to have this. He can be ride or die for Detroit team. Since you're going to jump all over the place.
You know who Q likes? Blake Griffin. We went to a game and there's a little Blake Griffin statue there giving everybody, so he held the statue and watched Blake Griffin do stuff. That's his play right now.
I ain't mad at that. He balling.
Do you think the Patriots could get upset by the Broncos at night in Denver? Loud crowd, crazy crowd, medicinal doubt.
I think that Gronk has a signature game as well. I talked about this with Julio Jones. While the Patriots kind of have continued to win football games, though not looking as stellar on the defensive side of the ball at periods of the season, we haven't seen big numbered dominant Gronk.
No. He had like one game where he had a touchdown and 100 yards or something, but he's not been the same.
I'm saying that he's going to have the type of game that Jimmy Graham had with more yards. 2 TDs, 110 yards catching. Trucks somebody with a nice stiff arm, gets a chance to jump up and flex his muscle. He's going to take off his helmet and his uniform when he scores a touchdown.
He loves to be shirtless.
I got to get on my Royce when you say that. Put your shirt on. Get back to the six-pack on the steps.
Let's go to college football for a second, because Michigan's out. No one wants to talk about Michigan anymore.
I'm still going to Ohio State game.
But Michigan State at Ohio State is a ball game.
Rivals. Wolverine rivals right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who wins.
I want it to be a tie. 0-0 tie.
I hope they play for like 2 straight weeks.
All of a sudden, Georgia's the #1 team in the country.
Georgia.
And they're going into Auburn, Alabama. Weagle, 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 war eagle.
I say that Georgia keeps it going, and they set up for the showdown that is one we haven't seen in recent memory in the SEC Championship eventually versus Alabama.
And finally, very close to where I grew up, a town called West Springfield. It's west of Springfield.
Travis Best, what up, though?
They had the New England Fiber Festival there. So if you're a lover of wool
say that 3 straight times.
The New England Fiber Festival is there this weekend. It's West Virginia.
That's a tongue twister.
West Springfield. See? I can't speak. I just had a stroke. Lovers of wool and other natural fibers will get together. This is the 7th annual Fiber Festival of New England. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday at the Eastern States Exposition Grounds. So
is that a promotion for the show?
In the 413. No. I'm just trying to give this a weekend preview.
Okay, well, that sounds boring.
What? You don't love wool?
I wouldn't have said that if they were paying us.
You don't love fiber?
Don't go to that.
You don't love different fibers?
Don't go to that.
No one that listens to this program is going to the Fiber Festival.
If you're in Massachusetts, don't go to that.
If you go to the Fiber Festival, you listen to Jalen Jacoby, send us a tweet. Put you on the show.
Shout out.
Right now, we're going to open up our 1-800-FLOWERS Twitter feed and take questions from our audience. This one's from V Monster on our Reddit subreddit. If you go to reddit.com/r/Jalen Jacoby, you can find our Reddit page. On our Reddit page, you can ask us questions. We'll put them on the show just like this. Soft Mover Boss Moves, Sia's recent Twitter post. You don't know about this story. Let me tell you. Sia is an artist. She's kind of faceless. She has a weird hairstyle that covers her face. She used to write, maybe it's Sia. Sia. I don't know how to say her name.
I talked to one of the security individuals that work in this building, and they encouraged me to listen to Sia's music just today.
Interesting. Well, she's in the news. because she was once in the nudes. And she was concerned about someone trying to sell a nude picture of her. She had heard someone was out in the world trying to sell a nude picture of herself. Do you know what she did? Posted it on Twitter herself. Say, save yourself the time and money. Here it is. Soft move or boss move?
Boss move.
Shout out to V Monster for asking us this question. It is definitely a boss move. Good for her. Get ahead of the story. Get ahead of the story.
And also, I hate to say it like this, but I'm pretty sure if she didn't discover on her own, somebody close to her probably acknowledged the fact she's not going to be able to profit off of that.
Green Seabreeze, also on our Reddit, has this question. Something I've noticed on other basketball players as well. Aaron Baines' armpits look suspiciously smooth tonight. Soft move or boss move? NBA players shaving their pits. I've seen this before. I believe it was on Blake Griffin. I don't remember exactly who was on. Sorry, Blake, if you do not shave your pits. Don't mean to slander you. Do basketball players shave their armpits?
Guess how many times I shaved as an NBA player?
0.
Correct.
Have you ever seen a teammate in the shower with one arm up and just dragging a razor under that thing?
I wouldn't want to be present for that, especially the way you said. I don't know which thing that is.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm going to have to do some more research. I think I tweeted about it once, but I'm going to keep an eye on NBA player armpits, and we're going to get a nice shot, and we're going to see if someone actually does this.
I have a soft move or a boss move real quick that I need help with.
You can send it into our, just go to our Reddit page, reddit.com/r/Jalen Jacoby. You can put it up there, and we'll consider it for the show.
I'm not doing Reddit.
Oh, okay.
Is it a soft move or a boss move to wear these forms that I got from Adidas a few years ago? They're classic, pink stripes.
Yeah.
But they're a size too small.
Have you tried them on?
I did.
Oh, I wore a size too small for like 4 years of my life. Just because they look better. It's a boss move. The problem is, if you have like a long day with a lot of walking, and then the next thing you know, it's like 8 o'clock rolls around, and you're gonna have to stay working until like 11 p.m. Your big toe starts hurting. You come home and you take your shoes off, take your socks off. Next thing you know, purple toe. Purple toe's a soft move. You know what? Wear some thin socks. Adidas forms are always a boss move. Next question we have is from our 1-800-FLOWERS Twitter feed. Finger Roll Jones, one of our co-producers. I love Finger Roll Jones. He's got a logo too if you go to his page. Should LeVar Ball play in the Celebrity All-Star game? Now, that is something I can get behind. Because that All-Star game is about spectacle. It's about the E in ESPN. It's about entertainment. It's not so much about the S in ESPN. And that would be entertaining. You Mike LeVar Ball, you put him out there. He's going to miss some shots and look foolish here and there. He's going to make some shots and act a fool here and there. That is a spectacle that I'm for.
You know what I love about our program? Is that we get in front of things just like this. By the way, James Harden won an MVP this year, for whatever it's worth.
You said LeBron and then Giannis.
I just go by current events.
Oh, okay.
And so, Finger Roll Jones, just know when I say this on Countdown, it's no different than when me and Jacoby are in the lab. When a producer and an artist are in the lab. When we collaborate and lead a room, it's everybody's idea.
Mm-hmm. That's how it goes.
You just said that he's a what for this show?
Spectacle?
No. Finger Roll Jones is a
co-producer.
Okay, and what do co-producers do for us that people may not realize? They give us ideas. They give us concepts.
Of course. It's a very collaborative environment here at Jalen and Jacoby. I steal jokes from our staff all the time and act like they're my jokes.
I want to do stand-up.
I will help you. It's easier than you think. You'll be great at it. We'll put it on the show. It'll be a huge hit. I guarantee you I'll make you better than Blake Griffin in
I want to go to the
2 hours.
Comedy Store, too, or the other spot on Melrose.
Yeah, I got you. They'll give you a spot, buddy. Don't worry about it. You're Jalen Rose. They'll be happy to have you. They'll promote that you're going to be there. And I will make sure that was never a consideration. You're doing it for free.
Oh.
I will make sure that you've got some punchlines that will get some laughs early on. You'll start feeling good about yourself, and then you'll start feeling too good about yourself and taking some shots you shouldn't, and then it'll end up being a win for you, though.
But if somebody throws something at me,
no one's going to throw anything at you.
They can't treat me like a Disney employee.
No.
I want to be treated like a civilian at that point.
No one's throwing anything at you. No one's throwing anything at you at all.
I might have to get permission.
No, you don't. AK has this question. Soft move or boss move? Wearing sweatpants in public.
Boss move. Can't wear
here's one thing I
pants
learned.
and jeans all day, every day.
When you live in New York City, you really care about what you wear. You look good every time you leave the house, even if you're just going to the bodega. You know what I mean? You always look good. You always look put together. Los Angeles, it becomes about what feels good, not what looks good.
No doubt.
So I just wear shorts, sweatpants, athleisure all day, every day in this city.
But you left off one major thing that allows that to happen: the weather.
Yeah.
See, in LA, you can just roll out of the house and go to the store and go get some carry out, and it's no big deal.
Sometimes I see people out in the world and I'm like, you really not trying. Are you trying not to try here? Tattered PJs, dirty with stains on them, old flip-flops. Like, come on now. Like, I wouldn't even be around the house looking like that. Shout out to AK for writing that in.
Shout out.
I know that you really care about bathing and showering, so I'm going to just throw up this lob for you. Tomo wants to know, shower in the morning or eve?
Shower in the morning.
Got to get one in the morning.
Bathe in the eve because you can put some Epsom salt in there. You can get some hot tea, caffeinated.
The morning
decaf.
time, you got things to do.
You can wind down.
Morning time, you got things to do, so that's a shower. But
And here's the other thing.
What's that?
In the morning, you go shower because you got the music playing, you're trying to get the day going, the phone is up in case somebody calls you, because you up getting ready for a reason. You're going somewhere. At the end of the day, bath, cut off the phone.
I'm not going anywhere.
Just decompress.
Jalen Rose, it's time for Keep It Moving. Not everything is worthy of time here on Jalen and Jacoby. So, if it's not worthy of our time, we'll keep it moving.
We be moving, you know we keep it moving.
If it is, we will hit the brakes and discuss it.
Okay.
There's been a lot of knee injuries in the NFL. Keep it moving or hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes.
ACL tears in the 2016 season, 48. Through the entire 17-week season, 48 ACL tears. Just through 9 weeks in the 2017 season, 42 ACL tears.
I think, number one, it's the wear and tear of a regular season. Number two, I just think athletes are pushing their bodies to an ultimate maximum of performance each day. Just think about it like this. Who's the greatest track and field athlete of all time?
Usain Bolt. Carl Lewis.
Go back even further. People that didn't have the technology that those guys have since they're current.
No, you tell me.
Before their prime. Say a Jesse Owens.
Sure.
Okay. If you pull up times from somebody that's not named one of the two people that you just named even, their times are probably faster.
Yeah.
But if you were to be able to teleport their performance, that doesn't necessarily mean that they would be faster if they were running in that era. And I think one of the things that leads to players getting injured is the demands that they're putting on their bodies. I say this all of the time. We worked out. These guys train. And so when I'm watching players out there running faster, jumping higher, cutting, like that puts a lot of demands on your joints and on your ligaments and stuff like that. But also, the flip side of that is players are bigger, they're stronger, and they're hitting harder too. And so I see how both sides of the ball can be affected.
You watch some of that NFL film stuff, like Vince Lombardi's era. You know what I mean? And you watch when John Madden was coaching the Raiders. That was something I was watching. The guys are big. They are.
Their shoulder pads
big.
are too.
Their shoulder pads are big, but they're not as fast. They're not colliding at the same rate, and they're not cutting as fast. They're not juking as hard. There's just less strain on the muscles. There just was. And I think the same thing happens in the NBA. Bigger and faster puts more strain on the muscles, more tears. That's what's happening. Next, Russell Westbrook is debuting a clothing line at a pop-up in OKC this weekend. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
The brand is dubbed Honor the Gift. It will debut this weekend at a special pop-up in Oklahoma City. According to the press release, Honor the Gift is, quote, a brand of self-relief and dedication to honor the gift he has given you, shaped into different product offerings that represent a personal promise to challenge all and achieve greatness no matter what hardship. It's just clothes, man. Don't make it that deep. The T-shirt with the holes in it. That's not going to.
I appreciate how
make
he
me achieve
parlayed
greatness.
Not saying much, but showing up pregame, halftime, and/or postgame, being about his fashion, and turned that into an industry. Became the second player in the history of the game to average a triple-double other than the Big O and win an MVP. It's terrific what he's done with his career. Did I leave out the fact that he signed a 10-year deal with Brand Jordan and also signed a max deal with OKC? What a time.
That's a lot of money. That's
to
half
be alive.
$500 million right there. LeBron said he's obviously interested in buying the Cavs if Dan Gilbert wants to sell. Keep moving, hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Basically, he was just asked if they wanted to sell, would he want to? And he's like, yeah, duh, of course. I would love to be an owner.
Let me pull you behind the curtain.
Take us behind the curtain.
I kind of want to stay in Cleveland, but I really want to do it if you give me part of the team.
Oh, it's a negotiation tactic. I do not believe you can legally own a team and play for it at the same time.
You can wink.
But you can wink it. I like it. Hey, Dan.
That's what Dirk and Mark Cuban did. Mark my words. And rightfully so.
Sure. Josh Gordon got faster. Keep moving, hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. I'm wishing him luck, though.
There's an app to see if the shake machine at your McDonald's is working. Keep moving, hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
So, I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat fast food, really. I'll, cheat once every 3 months or whatever and get something. But apparently, based on social media, people get very concerned about whether or not the shake machine is working for McFlurries. It's oftentimes broken. This has caused a lot of trouble to a lot of people in the world that they express on social media. So now you can get this app called Ice Check that will tell you if your McDonald's shake machine is working. You're going to download Ice Check? Is that what you're doing right now on your phone?
How many individuals has McDonald's served?
Billions. They
ain't tripping.
Yeah, they ain't worried about it. If you're not, guess what? McFlurry's not working. You're still going to get some fries. A prototype of the original Air Jordan is on sale for $50,000. Keep moving at the brakes.
Keep it moving.
Let me just say one thing about that. Sounds like a little low number to me. It sounds like the original Air Jordan prototype should be worth more than $50,000. That's all I'm saying.
Did he wear them?
No, it's a prototype.
Nah, keep it moving.
A Kansas City police interrogation was shut down prematurely when a man bombarded the detective with flatulence. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Sound nasty. Keep it moving.
No, I'm vetoing that one. There's a 24-year-old man was charged with drug and gun offenses. He leaned to the side of his chair and released a loud fart before answering a question. The Kansas City Star reports that the detective Sykes that he continued to be flatulent, and the detective was forced to quickly end the interview.
Red, you got some sound for me on this one?
No. I farted in the studio. Oh, man.
For everybody, that's David Jacoby. What did he do?
I farted in the studio.
What you do, Jacoby?
I farted in the studio. See, I farted in the studio. We can go down this road.
I didn't know.
We can go down.
Keep it moving.
We can go.
You stop.
We can go down the road where all the things that we say during the breaks, all the things we say off wax, can get used on wax. If you want to go down that road, Staff and Jalen, I'm ready to go down that road.
I'm talking about pooping. I'm talking about pooping.
This show will never be the same. This show will never be the same after today. Okay, Red, you're on notice. Everyone is on notice. Everything you say can and will be used against you.
I'm talking about pooping.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Don't forget, I know you subscribe to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast, but tell a friend to subscribe to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast. Always giving you a dope pod to step to. We will give you another pod to step to on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the football games, even though there isn't a single good game this weekend.